to the world. My name is Lo. We are the Suit Up Geeks, and the Suit Up Geek Fix gang is together for the first time in a while. This is, oh, Jesus Christ. This is the Suit Up Geek Fix podcast. Welcome to the show. I'm just waking up. How are we doing today? Ryan, AJ, Dives, and myself all in the house in full effect. We are ranking the Disney animation films. How is everyone doing today?
Good, man.
I'm
Let's
doing
go.
all right. I'm doing okay.
Excellent. So before we pull this screen up, I just want to let everybody know that's tuning in. We are ranking this from S to F, but it is not in order yet. So we will be putting all of the films from top to bottom. Good morning, Nicole Deibler.
Hey.
All right, here we go. Let's do this now.
Oh, some hot takes.
Here we go. Here we go.
All right, with that being said, let's just get right into it. So are we going to start from the first film in the slot?
No.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's do that. Yeah.
All right, so in the first slot, we got Winnie the Pooh.
Oh no. So everyone decides. Does anybody have an S film? And then we go from S to A to B to C. So
Yeah.
everyone picks which one would be an S. So typically one per.
With that being said, Mr. Crockpot, what is an S tier Disney film for you?
No doubt about it here, guys. Like, this is an S tier. It's one of my favorite films of all time. It is The Nightmare Before Christmas. I'm adding it up here. It's a film I watch on the regular. It's a soundtrack I listen to on the regular. Just so many iconic moments. The animation, the soundtrack, just everything together is pound for pound one of the best films of all time. It's right up there with The Incredibles for me for best animated film. And I would argue it's probably in my top 10 of favorite films of all time. Jack's Lament, just there's so many memorable moments. Nightmare Before Christmas, S tier.
Excellent. I have no quarrel with that. It's one of the most groundbreaking animation films of all time, especially in terms of the stop motion work. It's just incredible. Henry Selick, who directed it, a lot of people think Tim Burton did. Henry Selick did an amazing job, and he went on to do James and Giant Peach, Coraline. Excellent stop motion expert. AJ or Ryan, do you guys agree with the S ranking for Nightmare Before Christmas?
I agree with the S tier. I agree with everything Deeb said. And I think this belongs in S tier solely because since this film came out, it's been so debated at which film we would consider this to categorize as under a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie. And the fact that we're still talking about this almost 30 years later, 28 years at this point, speaks volumes. So I think that alone keeps it at that S tier.
What about you, AJ?
S tier for sure. And by the way, it is a Christmas movie, and it is a Halloween. It's both. There's no need to debate this anymore. It's both. But yeah, I love how weird this movie is. I love how, much like Lo said, how groundbreaking the animation is with the stop motion, and it just looks like something unique, even in today's standards. So yeah, this definitely belongs in S tier.
No, yeah, definitely.
Awesome. And while we're on you, AJ, do you have an S tier film that you'd like to throw up there?
Yes, I am gonna go Pinocchio. Good old Pinocchio.
Okay. I think you're gonna go that direction.
I just love how horrific this movie is on the DL. I love how Disney does things to like influence and like inspire other people to become filmmakers. And I think Pinocchio is one of those movies that did it. I think it just helped people like realize who they are and all of that, at least for me. And like I said, for me, it's probably one of the most influential movies from Disney. I think I still like a lot more movies than Pinocchio, but for Pinocchio itself, it's the most influential for me. And that's the reason why I'm putting it in S tier.
I respect that. I believe Pinocchio came out in 1941, if I'm not mistaken. Might be 1942. But with that being said, guys, Don't hear what I'm not saying. I love Pinocchio. Okay, the songs are really catchy, and like most people think of "When You Wish Upon a Star," but there's actually other songs in it that's amazing. Like "I Got No Strings to Hold Me Down," and then the one where the fox is trying to trick him. I can't think of it right now.
Age of Ultron was inspired by that. Great.
Yeah, no, and my son actually loves Pinocchio as well. He was on a run where he kept wanting to watch Pinocchio. So it has qualities. The animation for the time was really well done, but I just feel like it stood the test of time because we're still talking about a 1941 film. But I feel like since then, I feel like Disney has surpassed it. I personally would drop this down a tier. What do you think, Rye?
I agree with you, Lo. I like the whole story and concept behind this about a woodsman creator who creates a fake boy and magically comes to life, and he wants to turn into a real boy and then turns into that real boy. I think the story is great, but pretty much you hit the nail on the head with everything else, Loretto. But I'm gonna keep it at an A for that one.
So
any thoughts on that, Mr. Crockpot?
So it's the animation that's the issue a little bit. Because
I don't think the animation holds up as well, but it's hard to like make that its flaw because of how long ago it was made. So that's why I feel like A is a good part for it, at least for me.
Well, to your point though, Rye, or to both of your points, I mean, because I actually just recently saw this with my son like a few months ago. The opening shot, it pans down and through like the village in a very like cinematic way that for animation of its time was really impressive. It's just obviously doesn't look like Pixar does now, but
and it's hard to like look at what every other version of the Pinocchio story after this one turned out to be. So I'm just like, bro, this is like a godsend compared to most of them.
Yeah, compared to the one with Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
I think for me, I love the old aesthetic of the animation and style of it more so than like something like Frozen, where it's more clean and more I guess sleek is the word for it. I think I like the old style, the more like gritty-esque atmosphere within the animation of Pinocchio.
It just feels darker.
Yeah.
All right, bring us home, Mr. Crockpot. Does this belong in the S tier? What say you?
I think as a film, I'm going to put it at an A. But in terms of like pop culture and what this film means for culture, how important the film is for Disney World and Disneyland, and it's an S. So I'm probably in that middle. But as a film, I definitely don't think it holds up against some of these other films that I think deserve an S tier. I'm going to give it an A. So I think we're going to...
Yeah, let's move it to A.
A.
It's been decided. All right. Our first debate. I'm sure that's one of many.
Don't worry. I got some. Don't worry.
Rye, what film do you think belongs in the S tier?
You know what? I was looking at all these movies and I didn't want to go with an older one. I figured that the people before me would choose an older one. And I feel like some of the newer stuff is honestly just as great as like the Nightmare on Elm Street. So for an S tier, I'm going to put... No. Oh, wait. Did I say Nightmare on Elm Street? I meant Nightmare Before Christmas. Guys. Holy shit, dude.
Oh, God. Kids wouldn't sleep ever.
I didn't even just wake up. That's all low. And I'm already making the mistakes. But you know what? I'm going to go Big Hero 6 for an S tier.
Wow.
I was not looking forward to this movie. I shouldn't say I wasn't looking forward to this movie, but I didn't have too many expectations going in. It seemed like an animated superhero film, but I felt like they really got the emotional core of this film right between Hero and Baymax, and their relationship pretty much makes this film, on top of really clean and slick animation, even for 2014 standards. I thought the comedy was pretty good, and I really liked, if I remember correctly, the villain turned out to be his brother. I like that twist. I don't remember like what his superpower was. I think it was like a swarm of bees or bugs or something. But yeah, I thought it had that really good emotional core, and the connection between Hero and Baymax, this giant fluffy little dude, is awesome. And the fact that we're getting a show on Disney Plus for this, 2014, like 8 years after this film came out, I still think there's enough juice in this franchise.
Yeah, it was nanobots, right? And,
yeah, nanobots.
the bad guy ended up being a professor that he looked up to that taught him and his brother.
That's
and
what it
before
was.
his brother died actually, and that got
That's
me,
what it was. I got it backwards. I thought it was the professor that died because of the brother, but no, it was the
Right.
brother that died because it was the brother that looked up to the professor. Had
right,
it all
right.
backwards.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. So emotionally, I'm not gonna lie, I cried.
Yeah.
I also cried. Are we doing spoilers on this show?
Yeah, I already spoiled the ending.
Come on now, yeah.
I already spoiled the ending.
I'm not gonna lie, yo. Baymax low key pulled an Iron Man on us, and he
Yeah.
did like the ultimate sacrifice, and I was a wreck. I was like, why the fuck am I crying over this marshmallow? And speaking to the humor, Rye, I actually agree, man. I think that it's actually hilarious. The scene where he's running out of juice and Baymax is walking around like a drunk person. Like, I think we've all had that night where we're like, come on, buddy, and then they just fall over. So I'm so torn. In my heart, it's an S film, but personally, if I had to do a ranking, I don't know if it'd sneak into my top 10. Looking at this list, it might though. I'm gonna pass this to AJ before I do my final decision. AJ, how do you feel about Big Hero 6?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a B.
Oof.
I still love this movie. It's not as memorable, much like any of these other movies that's on this list, which I had to put in consideration. It's like I said, it's still a great movie. The animation is slick. All the character interactions. I felt like it felt organic and all of that. But in terms of storytelling, really for me is not that impactful. I didn't really cry. I still don't remember any. I might have to rewatch it because I don't really remember any of the moments in there. So just for that reason, I'm gonna have to put it at a B.
Mr. Crockpot.
I'm gonna give it a B. I'm in that middle ground of A and B for me. I think Baymax is terrific as a character. I fully agree, AJ. The story is pretty weak, but for characters, but mostly for animation, this movie is really top notch. It's a beautiful film. 100% agree, Loretto. I was crying like a baby at the end. And I'm going to agree with AJ. I think these rankings are super hard. This is like when we did our Pixar rankings, Loretto. Like, I love all of them. Like, I love every single one of these films, but you have to consider every other film in this. And if we're going to make this right, we got to put it at a B. So I'm going to make it a B.
Oh man.
Made your choice a lot harder, Loretto. By
Yeah,
now.
I was leaning towards an S. And by the way, just to refresh everyone's memory, in order to save Hero, Baymax needed to push him away and deactivate, but he couldn't deactivate until Hero said he was satisfied with his care. So Hero ultimately had to say goodbye. Anyways, I'm getting emotional again. I'm like replaying the scene in my head and I'm like feeling the tears. Okay, so you know what? How do we do this? Because I would like to put it in the A tier. Are we in agreement with that?
I'll say this: since we have two B's, one S, and one A, we should just move it to A to notch it down the one. Everyone agree
I
on
feel
that?
like even if Lowe said it was an S tier, it still should have been A anyway.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, it still would have went to A.
Yeah.
Would have counterbalanced each other.
All right, excellent. Dives. Oh, you did Nightmare Before Christmas, right?
Yep. So you're up.
Okay, so that's on me now. Great. I was not looking forward to this. Okay, so there's one really near and dear to my heart that I want to talk about, but I'm gonna save that for later. I gotta go with the obvious ones, right? So I'm gonna be real. My favorite Disney animated film. This is like, if I had to rank them, this is top of the list. It was groundbreaking in 1993. Had Academy Award winning talent with one of the most iconic performances of all time. R.I.P. Mr. Robin Williams as the genie. I'm going with Aladdin, guys. Iconic songs like "Who Doesn't Know a Whole New World" and "Friend Like Me" and Jafar was a wicked villain. We had Gilbert Godfrey as the annoying Iago, but he was funny and he was like there was just everything about this film. The animation pops. We had a little bit of CG mixing with 2D when the rugs flying through the lava, and there's just so many things I love about this film. Aladdin is a charismatic like underdog you could root for, and his love story with Jasmine was very organic. Even the animals were memorable. Raja and Abu. I love Aladdin so much, like everything about it. And even though the live action remake wasn't as good, I enjoyed both tellings. I think this deserves to be in the S tier. What do you think, Dubs?
100% S tier. When you talk about Disney movies, you're talking about the best of the best when it comes to characters and voice acting. This film has the number one character of all time in Robin Williams as Genie. That will never be beat. I'm pretty confident saying that, which is absolutely crazy to say. That will never be beat. Robin Williams as Genie, S2.
Excellent. Any how do you feel about it, AJ? Do you agree?
Yeah, 100%. Out of all of these, I think Aladdin does have the most heart out of all of these Disney movies. Personally, Robin Williams, like everybody said, just pure perfection. He is what Ryan would say, an instant classic.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I do agree that this belongs in S tier.
Excellent. Bring us home, Rye. Are we all in agreement here?
I will agree with you guys on the S tier, but I'll be the one to say this. I think the live action remake actually amplified my enjoyment for the Aladdin film, not because I disliked it, but because I actually liked it a lot more than other people. So
I see.
Yeah.
I'll say this though. I liked it more than I thought I would. I went in thinking I was going to hate it, and I walked out like, oh, that wasn't bad.
I'm definitely one of the people where I agree that no one can beat Robin Williams as the Genie, but man, I think Will Smith did the best that I think someone could do in that role under the persecution of coming under the infamous Robin Williams. So I just want to give credit to that. But yeah, dude, this film just gives us so many classic songs, great 3D animation, like when he goes to meet the Genie and get the lamp. That whole scene with the lava just looks great. Even it holds up today. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Excellent. I think, is that our first time agreeing on this? Or
Yeah,
did we
all
all
four
think
of us
Nightmare was
agreed.
that too?
Yeah, all
Yep.
four of us agreed.
Monumental occasion. The four of us are here, early morning for me,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we are in agreement on two films in the S tier. And I think that speaks a lot about the quality of Disney animation, like Dibes was saying. So let's keep it on trucking. What's the next film that belongs in this tier, Mr. Crockpot?
Yeah, I'm going straight Beauty and the Beast.
Nice.
What an epic movie. Like in terms of just story and the music and my goodness, the animation. This movie still looks unbelievable today. This movie has some of the best characters of all time, and I love the princess in this, which I think is a big component. And when we start getting down to A, B, C, that's when I'm probably going to shock some people with because the princess has a huge weight in terms of where we rank these films. At least for me. Sorry, that's my dog Kona. But I think you talk about the first animated movie to get an Academy Award, was nominated, had Best Original Song, Be Our Guest. The Candlestick Dude, Lumiere is that's Be Our Guest is hands down one of the top films or Disney songs of all time. It just if you're not dancing by like 3/4 through that song, like you're officially S tier. Beauty and the Beast is absolutely gorgeous.
Hey, good morning to Christian Eulenberg. He says, yo, thanks for joining us, Christian. And if you are joining us at this time, the rankings aren't done. We're starting top to bottom. So everything at the bottom is not in order.
Everything below B.
Lion King isn't a terrible movie. Worst movie of all time.
So just to piggyback off Dibes there, one of the reasons why I couldn't miss this show, I gotta drop the facts. And like Dibes was saying, Beauty and the Beast was nominated for Best Picture in 1991, which is a monumental occasion. No animated film has done that since Up in 2009. So for Beauty and the Beast, what can I say? It's just so cinematic, especially from the opening, the tracking into the painting of the mountain. of the castle on the mountain, and all the design of the castle and the beast himself. The wolf chase is like thrilling. Like there's so many elements to Beauty and the Beast. Of course, the memorable songs and one of the most despicable villains of all time, Gaston, and no one does it like him. That guy, you just love to hate that guy, but it's like he's like annoyingly charming, but also just a douche. It's so weird. So I agree. I think it's an S tier. What do you think, AJ?
Yeah, definitely S tier. It's funny because this has like the perfect use of 3D animation. Like most animations, 3D is god awful. And then you go back in time, and then you have Beauty and the Beast, which does it like I don't know how Disney does it, but
The ballroom scene, dude.
I know.
Hey, with the chandelier.
But yeah,
Wait, is that Gaston?
Yeah.
I love it.
So hands
That's
down,
dope. That's dope.
when I went to Disney World, I had to meet Gaston, and I got a beer mug from Disney World.
Epic.
Nice.
That's craziness. But yeah,
And this is Aladdin on Broadway.
you have all the cups. You have all the cups. I need them. I want them. Give it to me. Okay. But yeah, I love Beauty and the Beast. It's one of the best animated movies out there. I was about to say show. Hot take, I actually do love the live action Beauty and the Beast a little more than the animation.
Wow.
A little more than the
Fights, you hate
animation.
the ball.
That's my hot take for the day.
Yeesh.
yeah.
Well,
Man,
with
okay.
that being said,
I got a hot take now that AJ gave me the confidence to say this because I wasn't sure if I should say this. So, Beauty and the Beast, instant classic, bro. F tier. It deserves to be there. It deserves to be there.
Another gift.
And dude, I'm telling you, bro, the entire ballroom scene and the 3D animation they used for that, gorgeous. And it still stands out to this day as like one of the best dancing romance scenes that I could at least remember from the way it was shot and all that. But I do like the live action movie, not more than the original, but I think I like the music more in the live action than the animated. I'll be honest. When Ewan McGregor did Be Our Guest, dude, I love the way he did it. I love the way it was filmed. I think this film had a great translation to live action, and Emma Watson killed it. How did this just turn into a live action review? But you know what? I rest my case. S.
Boom. All
excellent.
four.
And I believe that was Ian McKellen, sir.
No,
Sir
no.
Ian McKellen.
No, Ian McKellen played Cogsworth.
Wait,
Ewan McGregor.
was,
Ewan
Lumiere?
McGregor was Lumiere.
Okay, see, that's how much I cared about that film. Anyways, speaking of Lumiere, this is R2D2 Cogsworth and
No, I like
C3PO
that.
Lumiere. And if you notice, you see Lumiere has a red arm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I also love Beauty and the Beast. I agree. I think it's an S tier. With that being said, what is our next S film, AJ?
Oh, obviously the second best Western animation movie of all time. Lion King. Lion King is greatness. The best Disney movie of all time, Pixar included. Inspirational to me, much like all these other movies were, but I just love the characters from Simba, Mufasa, just all of them. They're all perfect to me. Scar, you guys just did the villain, the villain, oh my god.
Movie draft.
Oh, the movie draft, yes. Goodness. And Scar is legit the best villain Disney has ever produced.
Yep.
And there's no debate for me. If you want to debate, sure, but
No, I think
Scar
there's
is the
something,
best.
I think there's something we can all agree on though here. The Lion King live action was dookie, bro.
No. We're
Like
not
Christian actually
slandering
says it in
live
the
action.
comments. He says,
No.
not the remake, though.
Exactly, bro. Not the remake. Not the
We're
remake.
not slandering the live action Lion King. I do agree it was less. It had less emotion, but I still do respect the hard work of like the animation they put into the live action.
I
Wait,
agree
no,
with
no
Rye
doubt.
that the live action remake was garbo. But Rye, what do you think about the S tier? Do you agree with that?
I mean, I think I'd just kind of get ridiculed if I didn't say S tier, but luckily I do agree it is S tier because I'd be nervous if I thought it was at least an A plus. I think that the Twitter mob would become stomping at my door if I said Lion King was nothing better than an
I
F.
doubt that. Twitter
I would have
people-
fell out of my chair.
No,
I'd be like, what?
Everything AJ said, I agree. I think the Scar scene when he kills Mufasa, super impactful and powerful as Simba watches his father fall from grace because he's also the king. So I think the whole ideology of the king falling from his stature and falling from grace just speaks a lot. I think this film, I want to touch a little bit on the 4 films that we've chosen because as you've noticed, they're all 90s animated Disney films. This was the prime era of animated Disney films.
90s are the best.
Bro, one after another, it's just banger, banger, banger. Memorable songs, great animation, and bro, the
Alan
emotional
Rickman, man.
pounce just fucking hit you, bro. So I'm gonna leave it at S tier.
Yeah, S tier.
What about you, Dad?
100%. I mean, come on, like it's the greatest soundtrack of all time.
Come
You
on.
know, Elton John, Tim Rice, greatest pound for pound soundtrack ever. Some of the greatest Disney characters in terms of duo, Timon and Pumbaa, like greatest duo characters of all time. S.
The
Hell
greatest
yes.
trio,
And,
actually.
you know-
Timon, Pumbaa, and Simba.
Once
All right.
again, I think we're 4 for 4 on the S's. I mean, I gotta agree. It's one of the most quotable films of all time. Like, that's Mr. Banana Big to you. You know, stuff. I'd say brownish gold. You know, I can quote Lion King all day. It's one I watched
Burst
it many
your
times as a kid. Who didn't? You know. So awesome. I think that's a fantastic choice. AJ, Rye, do you got another S tier for us? Something. Because you threw a curveball at us with Big Hero 6. What else you got for us, man?
Man, dude, I'm really looking at these, and I'm not gonna say which one I absolutely hate on this list, but I can't get my eyes off it and can't wait to roast it. But you know what? I'm gonna go with the worst live action remake yet to date, Mulan. I think this animation is perfect. I love the story it tried to tell in the I think it came out in 93. So I really love the story it tried to tell of a woman who wants to fight for her homeland but can't because she's a woman back in those times. So to see her go through the transformation of trying to become a man but still try to keep those family values that she has as a woman, it's just beautiful. And I think Eddie Murphy as the Komodo dragon is perfection. And bro, I will never forgive Disney for taking him out of the live action. I'll say that right now. S tier.
Spicy. It's a spicy. Let's go back up. AJ, do you agree with this ranking?
Yep, 100% agree. Mulan is greatness and will always be greatness. I think it's funny because we were just talking about 90s. This came out in 98. And it's still one of the best animated movies.
All of these came out in the 90s, by the way.
Goodness. 90s is greatness.
Was the prime time for Disney animation.
So just to kind of reflect on that, it's very commonly known as the Renaissance era. And then they had a dark time in the 80s. It was always called like the dark, what do you call it? Like the not medieval, but anyways, this was the Renaissance era for Disney, to be said. And I hate to be the Debbie Downer, but I didn't grow up with Mulan like some of you guys. I don't know what it was. It's not that I didn't want to watch it. I just missed it. And I didn't see it till like later in my life. So maybe that's why I'm not as attached to it. I don't know. I just don't think it's up there for me. I will say the animation is beautiful. I like the Great Wall of China opening sequence. The action was really good. Of course, Eddie Murphy's hilarious. I mean, Eddie Murphy's Eddie Murphy, but
fucking Murphy.
minus like the reflection song and maybe like let's get down to business. There was only like those are the only songs I really remember. I don't remember any of the other ones.
Reflection, the greatest songs of all time.
Which was it?
Reflections.
Oh yeah, no, Reflection's amazing. And that was actually sung by a Filipino singer, Lea Salonga. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. Personally, it's more of an A for me. I just feel like it was a fun story, but I never found myself wanting to watch it or rewatch it after seeing it. What say you, Dibes? Do you believe it belongs in the S tier?
I think S, 100% S. I actually came into this late. But not to be political here, but this movie means so much more. From the music to the story, like this is a very monumental film, and just this was showcasing Disney was so far ahead. This was a movie that was ahead of its time. So I'm gonna go an S tier for me, Mulan.
I think this was the first woman-led Disney animated, if not Disney film. So yeah, pretty monumental.
Yep.
Actually, wait, wouldn't you count like Cinderella or like Sleeping Beauty as being like the first? Like,
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna get to why I didn't think about this.
all right. So I've been overruled. And you know what? As an Asian American, I hate to be like the Debbie Downer on the Asian story. I feel like a traitor, but you know what? I don't know. You know what? I don't have any issues with the film being in an S tier. I think it's a classic. I just didn't grow up with it, so it just didn't stick with me. But with that being said, all right, I'll throw a curveball at you guys. I'm sure I'll get overruled again, but my number 2 right now under Aladdin is Wreck-It Ralph. Again, a film that caught me off guard. I cried at the end. The animation is freaking glorious. And as someone that grew up playing Nintendo, Super Nintendo, I used to go to the arcade like it was freaking Disneyland. Like, Dad, can I have $1? Can I have $1? Can I have $1? Please, I want to go to the arcade. And it's just like that film spoke to my heart. It spoke to my childhood. The idea of having this world in an arcade and having all these characters interact with each other, like the Street Fighter characters, Sonic, Pac-Man, and Qbert, like, no, who the hell remembers Qbert? And I just thought it was it was a love letter to a lost era of video games, and the relationship between Ralph and Vanellope was just adorable. And like I said, I cried at the end. It was very similar to Big Hero 6. Ralph made like a big sacrifice moment. He was accepting that he's a bad guy, but he's not that bad, and he was sacrificing himself for Vanellope. And what a moment. I love this movie. It's my second favorite Disney animated film ever, and it was the most original thing they'd done in years. Let's go with Rye on this one. Let's go from bottom up. Rye, what do you think? Do you think this belongs in the S tier?
So I was considering putting it at S tier. I think the only thing that brings it down to an A for me is I lean more. This is more of a preference thing, I feel, for me and for people that look at it this way. I just think it's too kiddish, if that makes sense. I like more mature animation, and I think, like, I get you can say with The Nightmare Before Christmas it is a little bit childish, but I feel like with Wreck-It Ralph, it just has so many of these childish references between video games, so many like overdosing on sugar type things, like very kiddish things, that brings it down for me. And we'll get to like more of those reasons with other picks, but right now I'm going to keep it at an A for myself.
Okay. AJ, what do you think? Do you think Wreck-It Ralph belongs in the S tier?
Yeah, I'm gonna put this at an A as well. Don't get me wrong, I love this movie, but I think it caters more to the older audience. Older than 90s, I think. So because of those video game references that came out before, and like late to mid 90s, it was like during the early 90s to like late 80s and stuff like that. So I think it caters to those type of people rather than my generation, I should say.
Yeah.
I don't know how old you guys are, but
yeah. I hate to interrupt. I agree with you, AJ, but I feel like the whole thing with Wreck-It Ralph is it just gets overshadowed with that part because what's the girl's name?
Vanellope Sweets.
Penelope Sweets. Like, bro, she literally overdoses on sugar in this film, I'm pretty sure, if I remember. Like, I think that just is what brings it down for me. I just want to clarify.
You know what's funny is, like, to AJ's point, though, I feel like there's a large group of the audience that saw this film, and the parents probably liked it more than the kids.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, though, because of all the old video game references. It makes, see, for me, I was lucky enough to play these type of games because I had an uncle that loved video games too. So,
and also real quick, because I don't want to linger on this too long, but I just got to do a shout out to the Bad Guys Anonymous meeting, which obviously is like a reference to Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yeah.
So I think there was enough mature references, in my opinion, that just like I was overjoyed with stuff like that. So, Dibes, what do you think? Does this belong in the A tier?
We have Amanda joining. Said thank you for putting Beauty and the Beast at the top. What's going on, Amanda?
Welcome, Amanda. Thanks for watching the show.
I'm an A. I'm an A. This is hands down one of my favorite films of all time. Like all of you guys, I grew up playing video games. This movie has pound for pound one of the best final scenes of all time. That scene where Wreck-It Ralph is falling into that like candy volcano and he says, "I'm bad and that's good. I will never be good. That's not bad. There's no one I'd rather be than me, man." That is a powerful message for today. And that was just another tearjerker moment. I watch on YouTube regularly. I love this movie, but I have to keep it at an A.
Wow. I've been overruled again. It's okay. It's okay. I ain't mad about it. Dibes, do you have another S tier film for us?
I do. Let's go. Here we go. All right. So this is a movie. Well, first I got it. I'm a little biased. My daughter's name comes from this movie. It's a character in this movie, Evangeline, and I think the animation in this film is super underrated. It combines 2D and all different types of stuff. Or no, it is 2D, just like the ones at the top. I think music-wise, character-wise, they're absolutely S-tier characters and music. And you have the first Black Disney princess. I'm going Princess and the Frog is just a super underrated movie. And it doesn't get talked about enough. And I listen to it on when I'm like cleaning and stuff. Like that soundtrack is on all the time. Like Going Down the Bayou. Like that is just awesome, awesome music. S tier. So I'm going to move it up before you guys put it back down.
Nicole Dibler says yes and yes, Mr. Crockpot. I love it. Let's switch up the order a little bit. Rye, do you agree with this ranking?
Yeah, and I think alone from what this movie told from story and music alone, I think this just shows a massive progress in the way Disney is telling their stories with who they choose to be the lead character. Because correct me if I'm wrong, I think in Princess and the Frog, this is our first African American and woman at the same time leading the film, and having the man kind of be the secondary character and turned into a frog, which I think worked monumentally in this film. And I find it really enjoyable. And like you said, Deebs, rolling down the bayou. It's just super catchy.
Knee slapper, right? Like you just
it's just get through the bayou. Leave that shit at us.
Epic. AJ, any thoughts on this?
F. Worst movie of all time. Hate it. No, but seriously, it does deserve to be an S tier. I agree with Ryan and Dibes over here, because the first African lady lead in a Disney animated movie speaks to the times of what Disney's going on and all that. So yeah, I agree with that.
Epic. You guys are in unanimous agreement, and I'm gonna get tomatoes thrown at me, but I've never finished this film.
No.
On two separate occasions, I just, for whatever reason, I had to do something, or I just got interrupted, and I never saw it when it was in theaters, and I'm kicking myself for it. But I have no opinion on this film, and I'm glad you guys like it so much. So, with that being said, AJ, do you have another S tier for us?
Ohana means family. Family means nobody gets left behind. Greatness. Lilo and Stitch, yes, deserves all the S's. Quadruple S. I love this movie with all my heart. It's up there with Lion King for me. I just love all the characters. Talk about music. I feel like the music within Lilo and Stitch is probably like the best in Disney. Probably like top 5, top 3 for me. So yeah, S tier for me. Lilo and Stitch all day.
So not to make this super dramatic and personal, but like my parents split up when I was young, and I have an older sister who's 10 years older than me. So I know it's different because their parents weren't alive at all, but for Nani and Lilo to have like that younger sister relationship, and it was just them, a broken family, so to say. That was groundbreaking for me in terms of animated Disney storytelling. I think it was brave of them to put that on screen. Stitch is one of my favorite characters of all time, from him trying to be Elvis to him putting a gun on the frog, like chuba chuba chuba. And with that being said, the animation, it was one of the last hand-drawn animation films with like the painted backgrounds and stuff like that. But oh man, you guys are gonna kill me for this. I love this movie, don't get me wrong, but I think it kind of belongs in the A tier. The same reason for why we've dropped Wreck-It and Big Hero 6. It's a wonderful film that pulls on the heartstrings, but I feel like it's just a little bit on a notch down, in my opinion. Is Ryan with us down there?
He's going in and out. So
okay, I was gonna throw it to him next, but guys, what do you think? Do you agree with me?
I've never seen it.
Oh, what?
I've never seen Lilo and Stitch. So
shut the front door.
I know. And the funniest thing about it is I listen to film scores all the time, and hands down, Hawaiian Roller Coaster Ride, like Eva goes crazy when that song is on. Like she dances and like gets really into that song. Which
you were never compelled to watch it.
Of course.
Wow,
I've never. I don't know. I got shit.
You gotta watch it.
But I'm for that song alone, sure.
You know, I was gonna say it's almost summertime. I don't know how it's gonna be for Philly, but you know, it's a good summer flick. You got to put it on for the family one time for the one time. But you know, before dives, I was actually gonna throw it to Ryan. But are you okay down there? This like we good. So Ryan, now you are literally the tiebreaker here. I went A, AJ went S. You are the man to decide the fate of Lilo and Stitch, sir.
Oh, I'll tell you straight up, S. I really love this film. This is the film that really got me into quote unquote Disney animation. I think this is everything, sort of like you, Lo. My parents got divorced when I was super young, and I was kind of the opposite, like you were with Lilo and her sister. I felt more with Lilo and Stitch because of two people coming from broken places, coming together to share that same kind of feeling, but not being able to literally verbally say to each other, but other than showing one another the affection that they really need in those hard struggling times, really connected to me. So from that alone and the pure greatness of I really like the animation. I think people criticize the animation a little bit from what I hear, but I like it, so I'm gonna leave it at an S.
Okay.
Epic. You know what? That's well said, man. I think this movie means a lot to a lot of people. Yeah. And I think for that alone, I wouldn't argue with the ranking. So, we're picking apples and oranges at this point. And I gotta ask right now, we're like about halfway here. Do you guys think we're gonna have any C's and D's on this list?
Yes, I'll tell you right now.
Okay. I just wasn't sure if we were gonna get there. You know, what I'm saying?
We are getting there.
Definitely C's. Definitely C's.
So the S tier is getting pretty full. I just want to do a quick rundown. Does anyone else have films that they think belong in that tier still?
I've got one, and I'm debating it, but I don't know.
Okay, well, since you're debating it, let's go to Rye. What is the next film you think should be in this tier?
So I'm only going to say it's S tier because I really feel like that you guys won't agree with me on this one. I think Deebs will agree with me, if anything, but this one's got like a little place in my heart just because this is like the first time I was introduced to my man Mickey Mouse. I'm gonna go Fantasia in S tier.
Oh,
I mean, what's not to love about this film? I mean, it's visually stunning, along with Mickey Mouse doing magic to some of the best instrumental music that has gone down in animated cinema. I'd say I'm gonna leave it at that.
So.
It's fine. I expected it, man.
Not to be the Debbie Downer here, but I feel like that sequence is the only one people remember. I've tried on multiple occasions to watch this film, and I'm gonna be honest, I have to be in the right mindset to watch this film. And I think I liked what Disney was trying to do, because at the time he was revolutioning how people hear of movies. He was demanding that Fantasia only be seen in a certain way with these surround speakers that weren't available at the time. He poured thousands of millions of dollars on it, long story short. And what I will say is what he tried to tell with, like, especially at the beginning where the conductor was trying to tell a story with music. I thought that was beautiful. But to be honest, it's a rough watch, especially for children. I don't know who this film was for at the time, because I think adults would find it fascinating, but the animation probably was like wearing on them. And then the kids, I don't know if the kids made it to the Mickey Mouse sequence, which is what everybody remembers. Yeah, I might have to drop this down a little bit. Personally, I think it's more of like a C tier. I don't find myself rewatching it. I think I appreciate Fantasia for what it did with it. It had groundbreaking animation for sure. I think I remember like the flowers, they turn into like elephants or something like that.
Yeah.
Or like, it was like elephants dancing in the water. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I had a hard time getting through that picture, and I think minus like the ending, which was kind of scary. I think it was like the not a wizard. It was like, was it the eagle on the mountain? And it was like really like dark and like haunting and stuff. I don't know. I don't remember much else. AJ, how do you feel about Fantasia?
Yeah, I'm gonna put it down to a B. I think it was a film that was in the testing stage for Disney. I can't remember what year it came out, but
I think it came out like 53 or 50.
Yeah, so I think B is a fair score because that's when Disney was still in their testing stages with animation and stuff.
1940.
Huh?
Yeah, I had to look it up. I know it was earlier than that.
It's way earlier than I thought.
Holy crap. That was literally like almost his second picture almost. Like,
yeah, this was only his second picture, maybe first. I have to
So I think the gamble he took was incredible.
Fantasia is a movie that was a stepping stone for all these other Disney movies. So I think B is a fair score for me.
All right, bring us home, Dives. Where does this film belong? We got an S, a C, and a B.
I think I would probably put it in the C range. But for me, I would probably bump it up to a B just for how ambitious it was for the time and animation, and combining animation with music. For that time period, it was just a monumental accomplishment for what they were able to do. So I'm going to give it a B.
So, quick shout out to the soundtrack, because he was taking like very like classic, like the Nutcracker theme and like the very classical music that I think people at the time knew. And I think it's sad to say, I don't think kids nowadays are going to have any idea though about those songs. But yeah, you're right. I think for what it's worth, it's memorable in its own right. So I guess, are we putting that in the B tier then?
Beer? B?
Yeah,
I said beer.
It's fine. It still begins with B. That's all that matters.
So Dives got beer on the mind. You said you had one more film that you were debating.
I do. And I want to go Moana. I'm going to put Moana at the top. This is a movie I think has really aged well. Animation-wise, it's outstanding. Soundtrack-wise, outstanding. What I love about Moana, though, is like it flips the script on what a Disney animated movie is. Like, there's no romance in this. It features you got diversity with the main character, which I love, and B, like, it's a story about this super independent woman trying to push her people forward and reach her destiny. I love this movie pound for pound. I just love everything it's about, and some of the best songs. Personally, I know it's not everyone's favorite, but this movie, some of the songs, when she stands on the boat and goes, "I am Moana," like there's so much emotion to it. For me, it's an S tier, top to bottom. So I'm going Moana.
I am so happy you said that, Dives. AJ, do you think Moana is an S tier film?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Like what Dives was saying, music, greatness. You're welcome. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is. I can't even say he's the heart of the movie, because everybody's the heart of this movie. It's just, I love all the characters in this movie. The world building within this movie is great. Probably I would say the second best out of the Disney movies. The world building in this is great. I love the lore within this movie and all of that. So yes, it's S tier for me.
2 S's. Where you at, Rye?
I hate to be the Debbie Downer. I'm gonna go B on this one. I know a lot of people love Moana, but I feel like this is just one of those movies that, to simply put it, it's got good music. What can I say except you're welcome? It's got good animation and all that, but at the end of the day, I don't know why I just couldn't vibe with this movie, and that's ultimately gonna be my reason why I put it at B. Like, I completely understand why people like it. it just didn't vibe for me.
Fair enough. What's funny is I just totally overlooked it in the little cluster there.
Yeah.
But holy crap, I'm glad you picked it, Dives. I got to bring this home. You know, the Islander people definitely speak to me. You know, Philippines is an island too, and I think like Dives said, the representations, you love to see it. And this is a hot take of hot takes. We got a lot of hot takes today, but
Of course.
How Far I'll Go, greater than Let It Go.
Oh,
my
No,
opinion.
100%.
That's all
Without a doubt.
banger. Like, oh, like
Without a
she's
doubt.
looking at the water. Oh, and oh my god.
That's not even a hot take. That's
Yeah,
just
that's a
facts
fine.
right
That's
there.
a regular.
So good, Loretto. It's,
You know,
it's like,
and I just
that's such an
everything.
emotional moment.
The animation and all the characters, like I'm not gonna lie, I've watched this movie numerous times with and without my child. So that says what you need to know about how I feel about Mulan. I think it belongs in the S tier. So I guess are we keeping it there?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So that rounds out our S tier. Wow. From top to bottom, it's a eclectic list, and I think the '90s reign supreme, but we snuck in a couple there. So
Wait,
now
hold
we're
on.
moving on to the next tier.
Move
Um,
the 4 movies we haven't seen down so people just don't get confused. So
Yeah,
we have
I
that
will.
little gap in between. Sorry, Loretto.
No, you're good. You're good. So when we talk about the '90s Renaissance, you know, I think this film gets overlooked a lot. But at the same time, like I don't want to take anything away from it because it's iconic, it's memorable, has one of the most horrifying third acts ever, and also has one of the most beloved songs of all time. You know, I want to be where the people are. I want to see them dancing. I'm talking about Little Mermaid, guys. I think this is an A tier film. Some people would have it in the S, but you know, personally, I actually saw this late. I didn't finish the film. I saw it when I was little, but it was like the VHS recorded version, like somebody recorded on TV, so it wasn't complete. I didn't see the complete film until I was older, but you know, Sebastian singing "Under the Sea" and you know, there's so many fun moments in this film. It got a little bit too slapstick for me, especially when the chef tries to kill Sebastian and like he has a song about his
That was
poisson,
funny.
his
Yeah.
little poisson. That got a little like Looney Tunes for me. And also I thought the story when Ursula steals her voice, I feel like it was a really interesting story aspect, but it just like I don't know. For as a kid, it broke my heart to see Ariel helpless. But I think that was the whole point of the villain, you know, taking our protagonist down a notch. So, does anyone agree with Little Mermaid being an A tier? Rye, what do you think?
B. But for all the same reasons you just said, I think I just ultimately like it a little less than you do. But I'm sticking for B for Little Mermaid.
Epic. AJ?
I'll stick with A. Ursula, I love Ursula. Yeah, so A for me.
Poor unfortunate souls, you know. Dives, how do you feel about Little Mermaid, man?
Shout out to Larry, LC Screen Talk, for picking Ursula in our movie villain draft.
Yeah.
So consider that. Nice.
Nice.
I borrowed this from my sister-in-law over here. I was like, let me borrow that.
So one of 2 villains in our greatest of all time movie villains. It was Scar and it was Ursula. So I agree with the A tier, man. This is just top to bottom, fantastic flick. Fantastic flick. I'm good. You're not going to get an argument out of this.
Cool. All right, so we are in agreement. All right, AJ, do you have an A tier film for us?
Raya and the Last Dragon. For me, I still need time for it to marinate. Because I was close to putting it in S tier, to be honest.
Whoa.
High praise.
I love when I said that Moana was the second best in world building. Raya and the Last Dragon is the best for me. I just love everything they were doing with the lore of Raya and the Last Dragon. I love the concept of turning into stone and trying to come back and all of that. I really do love this movie. I've watched it 4 times, either 3 or 4 times since it came out. And I just enjoy this movie a lot.
Wow. I think that's the hottest take of the day. Dives, do you agree with the A tier?
I've never seen it.
Wow.
Never seen it. I'm out.
Okay. Well,
I give it an NA.
what? You can't do that. You don't say that.
I like how
right.
he gives A's like it's a terrible thing. He's like,
Yeah.
just throw it in there. Just throw it.
Yeah. Ryan, what do you think, man?
Bro, straight C tier. I'm gonna be that person. I'm not a big fan of Kelly Marie Tran. I don't think she was that good as the leading role. I don't like the voice acting, at least. Like I said, just me. I will say that the animation and the fighting and the lore was all really good, but overall, I didn't find the emotional connection between Rhea and her father when he eventually turns to dust in the beginning of the film to set off the events. And the plot was very just like, go here to get this, go here to get this. And it just seemed, to put it for lack of a better term, too linear, I guess you can say. I don't feel like too many things were going to come out and just stop her in her path. And I didn't really buy or really enjoy the final confrontation between Rhea and I think it was the daughter of the Spine Clan, AJ, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or was it Fang? I can't remember. Fang?
Yeah, Fang, yeah.
Fang, it was Fang, yeah. The fight scene looked cool, but I just don't think it had any of the emotional weight to it that really took me out. So I'm keeping it a C for Rhea.
So this actually breaks my heart to say it. I feel like I've totally rallied against like some of the Asian characters on this list, but I saw this in theaters actually, and I liked it. I enjoyed it, but it was a little bit disappointing for me. I feel like it was too ambitious for its own good. I also liked the world building, but it felt terribly rushed. Like this is this land, this is this land, this is this land. We go here really quick, grab this little baby. We go here real quick, grab the big guy. He's the only one left, and I didn't learn anything about his people. And I liked the dynamic of the crew, like the kid with the boat, the baby, the big guy, and their group dynamic was cool. But like we had no time with them really. There was no development for them, and to Ryan's point, I didn't feel like the conflict was strong enough to carry like the weight of the entire film, because the villain actually turned over again. It was one of those tropes where she actually helped Raya in the end, and they all came together. And I know that was like the message of the film. Kumandra coming together as one, and
well, she wasn't really a villain. She was more
of an antagonist than villain.
Yeah,
she was more of a conflicted character than a villain.
Right. So I mean, I just felt like it was a little bit predictable and a little bit like too like kumbaya at the end of it.
Kumbaya.
So I hate to agree here, but I actually agree that it's a C ranking. So does that mean are we overruling it, or are we meeting in the middle here, Dives?
Yeah, we're overruling.
No, you can overrule. It can be a C.
Yeah.
Because Dives is
Yeah, I say we just overrule it since Dives didn't see it. Yeah, C.
All right, Rye. So with that being said, man, do you have an A tier film for us?
You know what? I do. I was heavily considering this one for S tier, but looking back at it, I'm gonna go with Hercules for A tier. I really like this film. I like how they went into the Greek mythology on Hercules, Hades, and all that. It was just a fun time overall. I don't really remember too many of the songs though. I think that's why I didn't have it in S tier. And I think that them making a live action remake is really noteworthy and kind of has my excitement up a little bit more. So, hey.
Yikes. You know, there's like a period of films here like Mulan, Hercules, Hunchback of Notre Dame. I just fell off the face of the earth. I don't know what happened. I didn't see these films. Pocahontas.
Jesus.
I saw Pocahontas like from Blockbuster, but I just missed it in the theaters. And I don't know, from like 1996 to like 2001 or 2002 when Lilo and Stitch came out, that was like the next Disney film that I saw. But anyways, AJ, do you agree with this ranking?
Yes, I do. I just remember back in middle school, we used to watch the movies.
Yeah, dude, this was always on.
And Hercules was always the first one to choose. It was either Hercules or Lion King. And I can still to this day still watch this movie. So yeah, 100% agree.
Epic. Dibes, do you agree with the A ranking? And also, do you have another film for us?
I would probably put Hercules at a B. It's definitely kind of like you nailed it, Loretto. Like you talk about the Disney Renaissance, like this movie definitely got buried by some of these bangers on our S list here. I think the music is definitely a little underrated story wise. It's very meh for me at least. I'd give it a B.
So that's 2 A's and a B. Does that mean it stays?
Yeah, that stays. Yeah,
Yep.
stays.
All right, and then you have another A film for us, Dibs?
I do, and I'm gonna go old school here, and I'm gonna go Jungle Book. I'm gonna put Jungle Book here at the top. Bare Necessities. Everybody knows Bare Necessities. Like you talk about some of these older films that we're gonna be talking, like Bare Necessities still holds up today. I Want to Be Like You. Like a lot of people know what that is. I love how they were able to give a lot of these animal characters like distinct personalities. That was fun. But really, Shere Khan, when you talk about villains, Shere Khan was a legit villain, man. He was dark. I love how they explored the darkness of the jungle, but also had this like super light tone. It was a great balance for Disney at the time. So I'm going A tier, Jungle Book.
Hey, that warms my heart, man. Ryan, have you seen this Jungle Book? Do you think it belongs in this tier?
Yeah, I definitely agree. It belongs in A tier just for the fact that it's got one of the best names in Disney history, Baloo. I don't know why. I love that name absolutely. So
Not Rafiki.
A,
Oh.
nah, Baloo.
AJ, what do you think? Is this A tier?
I didn't even know this on the list. I didn't see it. It's an
Hard to
S tier.
see, actually.
It's an S tier for me.
Wow.
It's an S tier for me.
Love it.
I love all the songs. Hot take again.
Yeah.
The live action Jungle Book is the best live action Disney movie.
No question.
No question.
Damn, I would question that.
I 100% agree.
John freaking Favreau, all the way.
He did a great job with it.
Hey, honestly, I'm so glad that you guys love this movie.
Yeah,
It's one of the ones I grew up with. I had the VHS, and I don't know if you guys remember this, but the VHS Disneys were like plastic, and they all had like the same backing with like the logo on the back, and you line them up. It says like Disney Classic and like the diamond or whatever.
Yeah.
I almost wore this tape out, guys. I grew up with this film, and I think that's actually why the live action film spoke to me. And dare I say, the live action film is actually better than the animated film. Because they stayed more true to the Jungle Book story. They didn't include those vultures that looked like the Beatles. And they actually fleshed out some things that the cartoon wasn't able to tell. Because the cartoon's like 79 minutes, guys. It's really, really short and rushed. And they ruined the ending. Because obviously the Favreau version, he stays in the jungle. And that's the way it should be. Anyways, we're talking about live actions again. So I love it. I'm not gonna lie, AJ. I think I agree with you. I didn't see it either, so I would totally put this in the S tier. But is it too late for that?
No. So what do we
just split?
It's weird because we have 2 A's and 2 S's. Do we
Oh.
put
it in the middle. Put it in the middle.
Yeah, put it in the middle. That's what I was gonna say. Put it in the middle.
Awesome.
I can do this. I can do this.
Awesome. AJ, have you given us an A film yet?
Yeah, I said Raya and the Last Dragon.
Oh, you gave us Raya. Okay. Have
Yeah.
we all gone?
Yeah. I don't have any more A tiers on my end. So
Yeah. Well, hold on. Let me
I'll
take
be
a
straight
quick
up.
I
gander.
have another A tier.
Let me take a quick gander.
actually, no.
well-
Yeah, I do have another A tier.
Okay. While I'm looking, AJ, do you have another one you want to throw in the hat?
Yeah, I'm gonna put Zootopia on
Nice.
A tier.
Nice.
I think you all will agree that Zootopia's world building is great as well. Just getting into all of the categories in the city, all the districts in the city, to see all the types of animals and how they live and stuff like that, and then you have the character interactions and stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna go Zootopia with and also the themes, going into like race and going into just class and the hierarchy of the food chain and stuff like that. So yeah, Zootopia is up there for me.
Hey, well said, man. Yeah, there's a lot of political undertones here that it goes right over kids' heads, but it speaks to the world of today, and I'm so glad that they made that picture. Dibs, what do you think about this being an A tier?
I'm so happy AJ picked Zootopia. That was going to be my next pick. The sloth scene is terrific. It's so funny. It's even like still like every time I can't watch that without laughing.
It's
The
What do you
music,
call a camel with a third hump?
the characters in this are absolutely outstanding. The message behind the story is unbelievable. It's definitely an A tier. When easy, and you could argue.
Are we unanimous again, Rye?
I have not seen Zootopia.
We are unanimous.
Not seen Zootopia. That's the only one on this list I have not seen.
All right. Well, with that being said,
am I the only one that's seen all of these movies?
Probably.
Well, I've
Holy
not.
crap,
I've
wait,
only
you've
not
seen every
seen
single
Zootopia.
one?
I've seen every single one. Yeah.
I've
Wow.
only not seen Zootopia. That's it.
respect to you guys. Ryan, you said you had another A tier film.
Yeah, because I'll be honest, I don't think you guys think this is A tier, maybe not even B tier, but I think Winnie the Pooh is definitely an A tier movie. This just screams childhood innocence and what it means to be a child and what it means to live as a child. And I want to add that Christopher Robin, I don't know if you'd say a remake or a live action version of a Winnie the Pooh story, kind of enhanced this older version for me, just because I at least losing that childhood and childlike innocence and what it means to be a child, looking back at it now is just like, man, dude, I really miss those fucking days. And letting go of your childhood is Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh is that object within your childhood that you've held on forever. And there was that one time in your life where it was kind of just like letting go of your past and moving on with your future. So I think this movie alone and the original animation is just a great lesson for children on what life has to hold for them in the future.
So I feel like, especially as a film nerd, I feel like so blasphemous, but God, I don't remember if I've seen this because I remember the Winnie the Pooh show. It was like the Adventures of Winnie Pooh or whatever. I'm actually confused. I don't know which part is the film and which part's the show. But I will say this, guys. I love the character. I don't know if you guys know the little stretch he does before he eats, but he's like, touch my toes and it's time for food. And
I want my honey.
Yeah, Winnie the Pooh is the most lovable fat character ever. He's just such a chubby little bear. All he wants to do is eat honey. Tigger's like a ball of energy, and like Eeyore is the most emo motherfucker on the planet. Like, oh, guys, I don't know what's going on. You're just sad. Anyways, you know what? I love the characters, but I can't remember if I've seen the film. AJ, you've seen this? How would you rank this?
I've seen this, but like you, I do not remember this movie. All I do remember, it was back in middle school. Like most of these movies I've seen back in middle school.
Okay, Dives, can you rank this picture? Where do we put this film?
I've never seen it.
Holy crap.
Bro, yeah.
So I think by default it stays, right?
Hey, default, baby, I'll take it.
All right, I have no quarrel with that. Winnie the Pooh is a classic character. So I
have another A.
Yeah, go for it. I still can't think of what else we could do here. Go for it.
I got no more A's.
All right, I've got an A, and this is one of the most underrated Disney movies, and it is Tangled. I'm going Tangled in A tier. This movie has one of the best film scores in Disney history. It is the Kingdom Dance score. If you haven't heard it, please go on YouTube and listen to it. It is phenomenal. Tangled has an amazing list of characters. It's got my boy Zachary Levi. I think I'm saying it right. Yeah. You have a villain, like you see the trend here. Mother Gothel. She is like super dark. She wants to kidnap this girl and keep her to herself. Like that is just the concept is crazy dark. It's just beautiful animation wise. This was, I think, during a time when Disney was not exactly clicking on all cylinders. And this was the movie that kind of snapped them out of it. Like Max the horse, amazing character. The chameleon, so much fun. You have the song where they're at the bar and it's the song about like making money, like absolutely terrific, just a banger song. And then you have See the Light, which is another banger song. I'm going to go Tangled for my last A tier.
Epic. I like Tangled, but personally, I would go B. I liked like Mother Knows Best, and I thought the lantern scene with floating in the sky, gorgeous, and I was actually on the side that I like Tangled more than Frozen, but that doesn't say a lot for me because I think both of those films are B for me. Ryan, how do you feel about Tangled?
I'm gonna go with B for Tangled. I like it for all the reasons that Deebs does. Just overall, though, I don't know what it is about this film. I just couldn't get on board with it, if that makes sense. I don't know, but like I think it was you, Loretto, that said no, it was Deebs that said this is like the first film after a really weird streak of previous Disney animation films. And I think I will agree that they already put their foot in the right doorstep ahead with this one, but I don't think they fully made it through that door, but they definitely did later on. So I'm going to go with B on this.
Yeah, you're right. I think before this, they had like Chicken Little and like
Which still
the Robertsons, like, and it was just like, what are they
Little.
doing? So Tangled pulled them up out of the muck. AJ, what do you think about this? Is this an A tier or?
This is tough. This is tough because
Tell us how you feel.
I'm not a big fan of Tangled for one specific reason. And it has nothing to do with the movie. It's because of another movie that came out the same year, and I think it just overshadowed Tangled. And that's How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Oh God.
So what do we do with it?
Yeah, we did great.
I'm gonna give it a B. I'm gonna give it a B.
It looks like you've been overruled, sir.
Fine.
Overruleth, as we call it here.
So if everyone is in agreement, I don't think there's another A tier I can pull from this list.
I can.
What is it?
I can. Aristocats.
Oof.
I love Aristocats.
Amanda loves that movie too.
I know.
Here today.
He's always talking about it.
Shout out to Candid Cinema. Go ahead, AJ. Tell us why.
Yeah, I love the music in this. I love the old school type of feel. The aesthetics, like I just like those the old style of Disney animation. And I just love the character interactions, and it's amazing to me. So A tier for me.
Dibes, do you agree?
No. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not the biggest classic Disney guy. I'm not, and this is not memorable for me. There's a couple good songs in this, but outside of that, like you said, Ryan, in a previous with Moana, right? I don't vibe with this at all. I'm not even a cat person to begin with. I hate cats.
Fair enough. That makes sense.
I'm a dog guy. Like I'd put Bolt over Aristocrats. So I got to be honest. If I had to grade this is probably down in that C or D range. Sorry, Banda.
Yo, you did not bring up Bolt right now.
Bolt is terrible. Good God.
No, okay. Look, I like and I hate Bolt at the same time. I have problems with it, but there was ideas in Bolt that was really cool. But let's talk about what we're talking about. Rye, bring us home. Where are we putting Aristocats?
I've seen the film, but simply like Deebs, fuck cats. Dogs way superior. I'll say that on stream right now. But I don't really remember this movie all too much. And I think that just leads into this movie not being very memorable. Because I know I've seen it a few times, but for the life of me, I can't remember like serious beat for beat what goes on in the film. So I'm just going to stay neutral on this one just because I feel like I can't put it in a place.
I think Dive should stay neutral too, just because he hates cats. It's not even about the movie. It's just cats. He doesn't like cats.
You're bringing up How to Train Your Freaking Dragon, man.
Yo, we are live. We are spitting hot takes. It's getting spicy in here. Dive, seriously though. What do we do? Because I haven't even seen Aristocats. I am like the film nerd. I haven't seen half the movies in this damn list. So what do we do?
So let's do it this way.
I think
AJ made it an A. Deebs, which one did you do? C or D? Because you said
I'll
both.
stick with for how much I love AJ. I'll give it a C.
All right. So
Oh, I was
put it
gonna
at
say
B.
I mean,
for
it'll
dog.
even out to a C anyway. So
No, it won't. It's an A and a oh,
A
fuck.
D.
It's an A and a C, so meet in the middle at B.
no, but he said D, so it would be a C anyway.
He
But if
originally
you
said
want to
D.
put him B, I'm good for me.
Okay. Okay. Whatever.
We're settling on a
wherever
B?
we put it.
We have
Settle on a B. Settle on a B.
Kristen saying it's the only Cats movie I like.
Nah, bro. Cats 2019, bro. Smoke a little doobie while you watch it. You'll have a good time.
Oh boy. Well, with that being said, guys, so I still when I was a kid, this film I'm gonna talk about was really near and dear to my heart.
Wait, are we on B now?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
This film, I love the songs. But God, I feel like the first act is what carries it for me nostalgic wise, because I rewatched it recently. It did not age well. Me and Dives actually did a top 5 Disney movies, and I talked about this. I think it was an honorable mention for me, but it gets really, really sketchy when you land in Neverland. And to be fair, that the way it's written from the second to third act is really sloppy. And there's some really questionable things, minus the racial stuff with the Native Americans and minus the really overly sexual stuff with Tinkerbell, because she's in love with Peter Pan and she has like this really short dress, and like I don't know, there's like some really like questionable stuff that plays out in that. But for the love of the first act, when they first fly over London, I think Peter Pan holds a place in my heart. So I think Peter Pan belongs in B. What do you think, Rye?
I agree with everything that you said. I feel like the start, everything after them leaving London going into Neverland is when it fell for me. I'm going to go to C because the London part of the movie isn't very long compared to the entire length. So I'm going to keep it at a C.
Okay. AJ, Mr. Disney aficionado. What do you think about Peter Pan, man?
This is where all the hot takes come in. I'm
Yeah,
putting
boy,
Peter
we're
Pan
already
at
at
D. I was not a big fan of Peter Pan at all.
Really?
Yeah, I just for me, I just didn't really care for the concept of dreaming and all of that type of. Yeah, it's
Wait a minute, AJ, you're the comic guy. You've never wanted to fly?
Hey, there's more powers in the world. So
Hey, look.
there's more powers.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would rather like read minds or be faster than fly. Right?
Okay, so I gave it a B. Ryan gave it a C. AJ gave it a D. We are all over the place. Dives, where are you?
There's something magical about the movie at times, but not the entire film. I can't ignore the racism in it. As growing up, like this movie really wasn't that impactful for me growing up. So that there's that. Man, I'm actually leaning towards a D here. There's other films here that I think are more respectful Bs. I'm questioning whether it's a C or D, and I will give it a D.
Woo!
And-
We're dropping it down. I've been overruled for the third time. It's okay, guys.
I
It's
gotta
okay.
say,
This is why this is fun. We can't agree on everything.
dude, I gotta say though, people gotta stop like writing Peter Pan for what it is. You guys
It's
need to stop waiting.
nostalgia, though.
Nah, bro, you guys need to stop waiting 2 hours at Disney World and Disneyland for this ride because, bro, it is not shit.
And-
Like, relax.
And Hook is like here. Peter Pan is like here. Let's be honest.
Exactly. You
right?
can't even see him in the screen. That's where he is.
All right. Well, before we move on, I gotta say, as a Disneyland annual pass holder, ex-annual pass holder, I love that Peter Pan ride, but I will not wait 2 hours to ride it.
Bro, 2-hour wait. Stop.
Nicole agrees with me. Nicole
You're giving
Diebler says, no, Peter Pan needs to be B. And unfortunately, we've been overruled, Miss Diebler.
We're gonna
Mrs.
move-
Diebler, I should say. So, with that being said, Rye, do you have a B tier film here?
Wait, hold up. Where are we putting Peter Pan? D or
Like a
C?
C.
All right, see. Okay, I didn't hear you guys. You know what? This might be a little bit of a controversial pick. I'll go Snow White. And not because of Snow White herself. I think the Seven Dwarves really make this film their own. And dude, they're title characters, so they might as well at that point. I like the Seven Dwarves. I like how they all have their different personalities and work against one another, but still come together to help Snow White at the end of the day to find a sanctuary and find people that she trusts. I know this might be a little bit of a hot pick, but other than that, I really didn't like much of the Snow White section. I'm trying to remember what's the name of the bad witch? It's not Maleficent, right?
No, it's not. God, I can't remember.
I can't
don't
remember.
know.
I like the villain just because she was menacing, but clearly I didn't like her enough to remember her name. So you know what? Maybe bring that down to C. Bring that down to C. But yeah, I'm gonna keep that at C, even though we're talking about B, because I just like completely 180'd as I was talking about it. So you know what?
I am so confused right now.
Bro,
You like change your opinion mid thought.
I changed my opinion mid thought. I want to have it at a C. So if you want to put it at C right now and still talk about B, that's fine. That was completely my bad. I just completely 180 last second. So
AJ,
take it away.
because I want to talk about Snow White, but I mean, like, let's just keep it chucking on B. Do
Yeah.
you have any other films that belong in the B tier?
Yeah, Lady and the Tramp.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
be
say
horrible right
Lady.
now.
The iconic
Um,
spaghetti moment, greatness.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's an okay movie.
Exactly, AJ. That's why it deserves to be in D, bro.
No, unlike you, I can keep my opinions focused.
My opinion's focused, just not the grade.
Hey,
Fair
Dive.
enough,
So
fair enough.
I feel like this was a spicy take. What do you think about Lady and the Tramp?
I liked it. I think a C is more fair for Lady and the Tramp. Just my opinion.
Lo, I'll just tell you, I give this a D. The movie's not memorable really at all, other than the oh man, these dogs are gonna share a spaghetti and touch noses. Ooh, congratulations. Really making me feel like I need a girlfriend right now, Disney. But I'm gonna keep it at D.
Yowzers.
Take your choice. We're at B, C, and D, by the way, Lo. Make that
I
shit.
feel like me and AJ have been overruled the most. So AJ, I feel you, bro. I feel you. And for that fact alone, I'll say this. I enjoyed the story because, like Dibes, I am a dog person. Fuck cats. But you know what? Yeah, fuck cats. And because of that, C for cats. I'll give Lady and the Tramp a C. I think that's where it belongs. The song is wonderful, but that's the only thing anybody ever remembers from the film. I don't think anyone really remembers the actual story. I think that's fitting. Dibes, do you have any other B tier films here?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Bambi. I'm gonna go Bambi for B tier. Let me put that there. I mean, it has one of the most epic scenes of all time with the mother being shot. It's a super important film. I don't know anybody that wasn't like emotionally destroyed after watching this. And for, I guess, nostalgia purposes, I think, you know, when this movie come out, man, I mean, 1942.
Yeah.
My goodness. So like Snow White, I mean, it's just such an important film for Disney. So I will go a B tier for Bambi.
Another film nerd fail. I have not seen Bambi fully, guys. All I remember is you can call me Flower if you want to.
So weird.
I don't remember anything else. AJ, is this a B tier film?
C tier.
Oh, he's getting them back.
It's not as memorable as everyone thinks. Much like Lady and the Tramp, the only scene that's memorable is the mother's death. That's all everybody talks about in that movie. So I wasn't really a big fan. I wasn't emotional. It's overhyped.
That's because you have a heart of stone, AJ.
It's overhyped for me.
I'm just kidding. Hey, real quick, Dibes, pull up Bring Me Up Music's comment. So I actually looked on IMDb. She's right. The reason Ryan doesn't remember is she doesn't have a freaking name.
Yeah,
her name is Queen/Witch.
Thank God, because I'm just like, bro, I know Maleficent isn't Snow White, but that's the only thing that can like come to my head.
To be honest,
By the way,
White, Cinderella, and what was the other one?
Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah, they all confuse me. They're all the same movies to me.
By the way, thanks for watching, Chrissy. You're hanging in there with us. We're almost at the 1 hour and 30-minute mark. Ryan, thoughts about Bambi, and then let's talk about Snow White. I'm ready for it.
You know what? I'm gonna give Bambi a B for balls because for 1940 fucking two, bro, this film had balls to it, bro. I will never let it down. Story wise, it's just emotionally draining and heartbreaking. The beginning, watching them just straight up shoot and murder their mother in 1940 fucking two, people, is bonkers. And I think it's just a really sad tale when you really look underneath what the movie is. Underneath all the animation, the undertone is just super sad about this child that watched their mother just get shot for a Disney film. A Disney film, people, in 1942. Just want to emphasize that. So I'm gonna leave it at B.
Epic. So I guess that stays, right, Dives?
Yeah, that stays.
So I'm actually really surprised, guys. I just need to ask before I move on here. Do we all collectively hate Frozen? Is that what's happening here?
Bro, we're gonna get to it. Don't worry.
I think are we talking about Snow White or do we talk about Frozen now?
Well, I just want to talk about Snow White because it's already in the tier that it's in. Real quick, it was like the first full-length animated feature. I think that in itself is groundbreaking. The animation for the time and what they did at the time with by hand is incredible. My problem with Snow White is she's the title character and she is the most bland lady of all time. I don't remember a single thing she says. All I remember her is standing looking dainty and she smiles at the dwarves and they cry at her grave. I don't know why. She just hung out with them. She didn't really, I don't know.
Loretto, they should have called this film The Seven Dwarves and Snow White on the side.
It's true though.
It's so true.
No, and seriously, at the end of the day, I mean, minus all the film history facts and like the animation that I mentioned, the main thing I remember is hi ho.
Ho.
That's what I remember. I don't remember Snow White. I remember the evil witch with the apple, and I mean, I don't know. I feel like you hit the nail on the head.
Wait, isn't the apple...
I'm actually leaning towards like
no,
D,
it's True
but...
Love. It's True Love's kiss in Snow White, if I remember right.
Right.
Yeah,
and in my opinion, like I personally, film wise, I don't think it's a strong film, but I think for what it means to people, C is fine with where it is. I couldn't put it any higher. AJ, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, D. That's all I want to say. D.
Okay.
D.
Oh wow. Well, shit. So that means are we dropping Snow White? Dive.
No,
What do you
we
think?
got two C's.
No,
One D.
I'm going to keep it at a C because it's such a monumental movie. That was definitely weighted in a lot of these other films. You know, the importance of the film. So I'm going to keep it at a C. I think there's more argument of it being at a B, to be honest. Snow White, I think music-wise, you know, just so important for music. I think it was like one of the first records ever made. Like it's literally like it's so important in pop culture. Yeah, no, I'm saying a B. I'm going to say a B for Snow White because for everything it meant for Disney moving forward.
So I think we keep it at a C because we got two C's, one B, and one D, and that's just kind of meeting in the middle right there. So let's keep it at the C.
All right, so I want to address the elephant in the room. That's the only reason why I brought it up. So Snow White stays at C, and personally, I don't hate this film, guys. So I think Frozen is B worthy. I really liked the sister dynamic, and one thing I like about Frozen over Tangled, even though I like Tangled more, I thought they had more like better songs. I loved Olaf's song about summer, and For the First Time in Forever is one of my favorite Disney songs like ever. It's just such a good song. I actually like For the First Time in Forever better than Let It Go because every freaking mom and their daughter and their child loves that song. I think Let It Go is okay. It's a very ballad heavy rock star moment, but ultimately I liked that they got away from like romantic kisses being important. I like that true love's kiss was just a sister's kiss because that is true love. Your family is what you love. So I like that. But other than that though, I think the hype for Frozen reached a point to where it just got out of hand. I think, did Frozen make $1 billion or am I crazy?
Yeah,
I wish we were crazy.
So that just is like, wow, like Frozen made $1 billion. Olaf and stuff, he's funny, but I mean, kids just went over the moon for him. And personally, I liked characters that people don't talk about. I liked Sven, and I liked the guy that was like, yoo-hoo! I liked those guys. And then everyone like loves Elsa and Olaf. So I think it's a B-worthy film. What do you think, Ryan? I got to hear this.
Oh, nah, dude. All right. Y'all gonna hate me for this. So I don't want you to hear what I'm not saying, first of all.
Yes.
I don't want you to hear what I'm not saying. I see why people like this film, but man, this movie's inept for fucking awful. That's what I'm giving it. I hate this film. It took me 8 years to watch this movie. We were talking about it before you pulled up Low. I only watched this film right before Frozen 2 came out. I refused to watch this film just from the songs alone. It's everything about this movie is just so annoying to me. Every choice they made was fucking annoying. Dude, it's just frustrating. Oh my God, Olaf is so fucking annoying. All right, bro, I'm glad he melted at the end. Like, can someone just tell me how he came back in the sequel so I know? Did anyone watch it?
Well, Elsa has like special magic that keeps him alive or whatever.
Bro, then why even bother making a frozen character made out of ice to just melt him at the end in the sequel to be like, oh, I just got magic. Let's just keep him alive. Like, bro, every song in this film is fucking annoying. If I have to hear Let It Go one more time, I might just let myself go and drink a bunch of Dr. Pepper and just burp like no fucking tomorrow.
Free plug.
Yeah, Joe.
Holy crap.
Zero
AJ,
sugar, fucking great.
AJ, I'm sure you're not as upset as Ryan. How do you feel about
Overhyped.
Frozen? Tell us how you
This movie's
feel.
also overhyped.
Look, I'm not as upset as Ryan,
Oh, he's
but
upset.
the hype for
Way too
Frozen
high.
was just way too much. Fair, it was for the girl audience. Like Ryan, I was late watching it because of all the hype. I was like, the hype is the thing that just like turned me off of this movie. But when I did watch it, I did think the movie was okay. I did enjoy the music a little bit, other than the Let It Go song, because that was overplayed on the radios. It was overplayed in parties. It was overplayed everywhere, basically. So I've heard that before I even watched the movie. But the story itself, I think, was fine. So because of that, I'm going to give it a C.
And I want to say one thing. The animation in this movie looks like it's straight from fucking Nickelodeon animation on their TV shows nowadays. Like that Teledoc show that 5-year-olds watch looks better than this film. I'm gonna say that right now. That's it.
All right, Dives. Let's bring the energy back up. I know you don't hate this film, right?
I don't. I absolutely do not hate it. Does not deserve the hate. I totally get it though. Like I remember when it came out, like I work with kids. I work in school districts. So I remember like you couldn't go class to class without hearing that song being played somewhere. Like it was everywhere. Like that for a long time as well. For a movie wise, I it's probably at like a C wise, but I can't discount how important this movie was. Like we talk about the box office. What Frozen had going for itself is having two female leads in Elsa and Anna with infinite relatability. Like females like absolutely were like glue on these two characters, which is really important because we have 4 males here, talking about a movie.
No, yeah.
Whereas like if you had another female presence on this show, I think this would be a vastly different conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But the relatability of Elsa and Anna for a lot of millions of people was really what made this movie stand out, at least for me personally. Music-wise, I agree the music's a little overrated. I like how they weaved it in and out of conversation. That was a major win for Disney, by the way. But I think I'll stick with a B.
So what, we got 2 B's and F, and what did you say, AJ?
C.
I'll let you guys decide where.
We'll do a C.
Yeah.
I think that's the most common ground, I guess, because the F brings it down a lot.
Yeah, so C is a good common ground. Man, that's way too high.
Do we have any other B tier films? I'll The floor is yours, guys.
Nope.
Nah.
Wow, no love for the dogs.
Honestly,
and me and
I'll
Dive are dogs people.
Bro, I'll tell you guys straight up, I don't even have another C list movie. So
Wow.
No, I'll definitely put 101 Dalmatians at a C.
Yeah, same. I'll put that at C as well.
Cruella de Vil was awesome. But overall, the movie's a little flat, no doubt about it. I guess I think a C would be pretty fair. What about you guys?
Well, I'll say D for dogs. Is it weird that I remember the live action film way more than I remember the animated film? And I don't even think I've ever rewatched the animated film. I think I've seen it like once. Blockbuster for the win. Ryan, what do you think?
I'm agree with a D for dog, bro. I mean, this movie is honestly kind of boring. Cruella de Vil is a cool villain, but I don't think it's because of her being as a villain. More so, I think it's how she looks and how she portrays herself that caught the audience's attention a little bit more. And we see that in the live action one coming out in a few weeks. It's more about what she looks like and how she acts, because at the end of the day, I just don't think like dogs are really worth all that struggle for her to keep getting at. For 101 of them, like that's
Hey, she got to make her fur coat, man.
I know.
Anyways, like there's a couple films in here. I gotta rewatch. I gotta rewatch like Winnie the Pooh and 101 Dalmatians. But moving forward, as a group, guys, I'll start with Dibes. How do we feel about Sleeping Beauty? I feel like it's underrated, but for whatever reason, nobody ever talks about it and nobody even remembers it. So, Dibes, what do you think about Sleeping Beauty?
I'm going to combine Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty together because, as a guy growing up, like I was obsessed over Aladdin. I was obsessed over Nightmare Before Christmas and The Lion King, and I was not ever into these like old school princess movies. So I've only seen these like a couple of times. I have no interest to watch them again. I probably put them both just because they're super important films for Disney period. I'll put them both, going to lump them both at a D.
Wow. And can I just say, I just realized, looking at Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, and Cinderella, they were like the girls and the guys there. They're just very one note. And especially the guys, like, Prince Charming is Prince Charming. Like, it's the same guy in every single film. Yeah. Prince Charming. Got to find your Prince Charming and get married. Very interesting story choice for the Disney to push on families back then. But I guess that was the dynamic, right? So shouts out to Aladdin for being like the first like male lead, but there's still an interesting princess. You could do more with those kinds of characters. So AJ, how do you feel about Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty collectively?
Yeah, it's a D for me as well. I'm not a big fan of the Cinderella type stories. That's why I didn't really care for Snow White either. And they all mold together for me. So
yeah.
Ryan, any thoughts on that?
Honestly, I'm going to agree with the both of them. They both belong in D, and I think that's the problem with Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, and Snow White all together is they're all kind of the same character. In my eye, they're just playing out different versions of a story that Disney wanted to create.
We've got different color. That's really
I mean, the only thing I can give Cinderella is the fairy godmothers, but then you can also look at Snow White and be like, those are just like replacements for the 7 dwarves and shit like that. That's how I see it. But
Mrs. Crockpot's coming for us.
Nicole
has different names in Sleeping Beauty and Cinderella.
They do. Wait, they do? I thought.
I don't remember. But you know what? Before we close this out, I just want to say, shouts out to Maleficent's dragon in Sleeping Beauty. I think that's what everybody remembers.
Yeah.
And the animation on that is still to this day is actually really, really well drawn. And a lot of, Sleeping Beauty, if people don't know this, it actually flopped at the box office. But animation wise, it was like leaps and bounds over Snow White. It came out almost 20 years earlier. Sleeping Beauty came out in like 53 or 54, I think. And the animation on that was really cool. The third act was really cool, but I've never found myself rewatching that film. And shouts out to Maleficent, the film with Angelina Jolie, because that film made me realize, like, hey, Sleeping Beauty is a pretty cool story if you tell it right. So, with that being said, we did it, guys. Holy crap. Just under 2 hours. If you're just joining the stream or if you're just got with us late, this was a Disney Animation Films ranking. We did it from S to D. And just to go over the list one more time, starting from the bottom, we had 101 Dalmatians, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty at D, Brian the Last Dragon, Peter Pan, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Lady and the Tramp, Frozen at C. Hot take. We got Fantasia, Tangled, Aristocats, Bambi at B, Pinocchio, Big Hero 6, Wreck-It Ralph, Little Mermaid, Hercules, Zootopia, Winnie the Pooh at A, and for the epic tier, Jungle Book is right in between S and A, but for the all-time classic, instant classics, the bangers, we got Moana, Lilo and Stitch, Princess and the Frog, Mulan, Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and The Nightmare Before Christmas. We have come full circle, guys. And we are at the end of the show. Ryan, what are you working on right now? Do we have anything coming up? What's up with the Backroom podcast?
Bro, we got a bunch of stuff coming up. Not only on the Backroom podcast, I'm releasing 2 separate reviews for Spiral. One on the Suit Up Geek Fix channel later, and I'll be posting a review on the Backroom sometime this week. So check that out. And guys, don't forget, we had just wrapped up our very first draft again, rebooting it. And guys, we all know Moi has won. I said it again last night. And you know what? Thank you. I want to say thank you for everyone who voted for me. But you know what? We have got some details on the next one that I kind of touched on last night. June 5th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We were doing the summer movie draft. Same exact thing. 10 people, snake style draft. The only There's one thing about this, though. We have some sort of restriction that's pretty big, is since it's a summer season movie blockbuster draft, the films only had to have come out between May 1st and August 31st of the year that they were released in order to be considered in that movie summer blockbuster season. And yes, guys, Avengers Endgame and Infinity War do not count because they were both in April. So this should be an interesting one. I can't wait to see this. And guys, anything else that, we got some Bad Batch coming up next Friday, a new Versus series. We don't know what it is yet, but it's coming next Friday. We'll keep you guys up to date. And don't forget, if you guys want to stay up to date with what we're doing for Versus, some new series, the drafts, everything in and out of what we do on this channel, follow us on Twitter at the Suit Up Geek Fix. The link is down below. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on not only this video, but all the other videos that we do. And subscribe to the channel so you stay up to your geekly suit up goods. That worked a lot better in my head. But you know what, guys? We'll see you guys later. Peace!